views expressed on this program are not necessarily those of Intercom Communications, its sponsors, or affiliates.
Good morning. Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. I'm Harvey Freed. Got a great show lined up for you today. We got Harry Glanz on the Zoom cast. Hey, Harry.
Good morning, Harvey. Good morning, everybody out there. Beautiful day on tap today, baby.
No doubt about that. Lisa Lawson from our office joins us. Hey, Lisa, how you doing?
Good morning, everybody.
All right, the Queen of Macomb County. I hear you loud and clear. Of course, you've been traveling around the world. Welcome to have you back in the United States, Lisa. And you bring on Hope Williams from Keller Williams Advantage. Hey, Hope.
Good morning, everyone.
All right. Hey, Hope, welcome to the show. That gets you started here. And of course, we take your calls live at 248-539-9797, 1 hour of the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show. We always want you to be set up. Hey, where are you going to put that great hot rod, Harry? If you don't have a house and a garage, where does that hot rod go as we got the Woodward Dream Cruise kicking here?
Listen, we're an automotive state. We're the automotive capital of the world. We always have been. We always will be. It is Dream Cruise Weekend. Everybody's got their cars out, their classic cars out. It's fun going down to Woodward, checking everything out. And I know I'll be down there this afternoon, Harvey.
That's awesome, Harry. Definitely get out there. Hey, Hope, there's no doubt. I'll ask you what your favorite car is. But, you know, Hope, we're hardworking people. These cars are built here in Detroit, you know, especially all the older ones that look so sweet out there on Woodward. Hope, hardworking, you know, blue collar state like we got here. People don't want to throw their money. We're telling them, real estate agents, and tell them you got to overpay. You got to bring $10,000, $20,000 appraisal guarantees. Hope, they've been working hard on the line, sweating it out, building these cars. Tell me about how do we go about really reaching out to somebody? And is it just because the landlord's going to pull the rent up anyways and you got to buy?
Well, absolutely. Okay, so the sell for me, and I think the average hardworking American, and I too am one of the consumers in the market, or would be, right? If I were in the market, the challenge I think is that explaining what is happening right now is not necessarily ordinary. It is happening, but you have to keep in mind that when you invest in a property, you are investing in your future. We love cars. We love to, showboat in them. This is the vehicle state, right? This is the automotive state. But your home is always going to grow in value. It's going to sustain your family, and it's going to be a legacy. We're going to have ups and downs in real estate. This is a peak right now. And if you invest in your property, you actually are investing in your family's legacy.
Hey, Lisa Lawson, no doubt, not only have home values gone up, these hot rods have gone up. I mean, you might have been sitting around with an old classic in your garage, 15, 18,000. Those cars have almost doubled in value. And of course, we see that in our buying frenzy. Lisa, these interest rates are at all-time lows. Thank goodness, because the prices are going up so high. It's still extremely affordable and a lot less money to own a house nowadays than to rent.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we need to take advantage of these rates while they last. They're not going to last forever. People are going to come to us a year from now saying, oh, I couldn't get a rate in the 3s. It's going to be 4 or 5. We can't control it. We have nothing to do with it, but take advantage of it now because low rates increase buying power. So yes, even though the prices are a little high right now, because the rates are still low, it's still kind of counteracting that. And you still have a ton of buying power. It's still a good time to invest in the market.
Hope Williams, Keller Williams there on Northwestern Highway. I know you work all Southeast Michigan. New construction's having trouble keeping up. I mean, definitely there's been some new construction popping up. But Hope, these listings, when they're nice, it's still multiple bids. Someone said, hey, Harvey, that's not 30 offers anymore. It's maybe 15 offers on that same house.
Right. It's not as many offers. I do want to clarify, though. I am out of the Novi office because I know some.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yep, you are in the Novi office. Yep.
And I don't want them to think I'm jumping.
Advantages in Novi. I knew that.
It's okay. But yes, absolutely. We are still seeing a bit of a peak. We're at the end of the summer, right? It's not like it was in March when there was a frenzy, but things are stabilizing, which is also good for the consumer, but you still need to bring your top game.
Harry, the purchase season in Michigan, it's, we used to say it was a 4-season thing, but this is the end of one of those seasons, the end of summer, because home buying season has a different tone to it when the kids go back to school. Tell me a little bit about that, Harry, because we're not seeing any slowdown.
Yeah, Harvey, right now, this is the 10th year. It started in January of 2012. This is the 10th year of a home purchase frenzy, as Hope said. It's a seller's market. People are buying homes at record levels now. And just to give you perspective and a little automotive theme to it, Harvey, in 1968, when Chevrolet changed the body style of the Corvette to the Stingray body style, everybody remembers that, right? Interest rates were in the 4s. And as Lisa Lawson said, right now they're in the 3s and in the 2s on some 10 and 15-year fixed rate mortgages. They were in the 4s in 1968. And now look what happened to rates as you progress through the 60s into the 70s. Rates continuously went up. Now, I'm not going to say they're going up to those levels they did from the 60s, 70s, and 80s, but they can't stay this low forever. Just like the Corvette body style changed, interest rates are going to change. That's what's going to happen.
All right, trying to get you approved on your mortgage. You want to call Capital Mortgage Funding at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Again, the key is to be truly set up in today's marketplace. We're taking the clients a step further than just about anyone out there. We're turning into a cash buyer because you're able to work with us by submitting all your documents. We'll get you a true approval. We can do it within hours. Again, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Your real estate agent will thank you because you'll be closing in 30 days. They don't want the hassles either. And if, Hope, you allow us, I was at a couple closings this week. I love getting to the table the old-fashioned way. One of the real estate agents said, Harvey, I haven't seen a mortgage person in a couple of years. Sure enough, I still love getting out there. We bring the nice basket and, they're cracking champagne. There's nothing like an old-fashioned closing.
Nothing like it. Nothing like it. And people appreciate it, right? As much as we've been social distancing, to have that personal touch and that feel of, an actual person behind the telephone voice or whatever is really awesome. So the agents and the clients appreciate it.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Getting out there and meeting some of the clients. And again, if you've owned, sometimes the real estate agents, because of technology, haven't been meeting their clients and stuff. They're making offers and then they're finding out their offer was accepted because it's been so competitive. Lisa, we've had some ups and downs in the rate world. There's no doubt about that. But these are 50-year lows, all-time low interest rates. What, they're not good enough? Harry, I feel like, honestly, Harry, that feeling you get when you've got box seats at the Tiger game and you're walking down, passing everyone. You start at the top at the 35th row and you keep going and the guy says, hey, no, we're closer. And you keep getting down to the dugout and boom, you sit down, Harry, and they're waiting on you. You've got a nice cold beer and a hot dog. And boy, I'll tell you, these interest rates are like having box seats at the Tiger game and they're serving you lobster tail. So definitely give us a call if you want a piece of home ownership, 248-539-9797. I'll go back to you guys because I'll tell you, the inventory has put this interesting strain on what's going on for the first-time home buyers. And Lisa works with a lot of them. Lisa, let's go there because we always talk about it, that FHA is such a great loan. MSHDA loans are helping first-time home buyers get into houses. There are some sellers that would rather sell the home to a family than to like a landlord, someone who's not going to live there.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially people who've made their memories in that home. They want to pass on a legacy to another family so that new family can make memories. Not everybody is interested in getting into the investment game, including sellers. And, everyone's always like, well, my bid didn't win. I must not have been the top dollar. I must not have been the top bid. And sometimes that isn't what wins it. Sometimes it's the letter that goes with it. Sometimes it's occupancy. Sometimes we've got sellers who aren't ready to leave instantly. They need time to find a place. You give them a 90-day occupancy so they can use part of that to find a new place. And that's what's going to win the bid. There's so many other caveats right now in this market because it's so competitive and because of the inventory shortage that there is. You have to kind of think outside the box to get the deal done.
We've seen some new construction pop up. There's no doubt about that. We're going to talk about that in this hour. And of course, addendums, the ceiling and how you can set that up and make sure that your offer is really set up the right way. We talked about it on our podcast on Wednesday. Hope Williams joins us from Keller Williams Advantage out there in Novi. I got that right. And definitely in our next segment, we're going to be talking about that because we've seen some real sketchy language and you don't want to move forward with any vagueness of a transaction. Hope, these addendums can really be written. We're talking a lot about it this morning, but these addendums, it's a whole blank sheet of paper. You can write whatever you want on there.
Yes, you can. And you know what? With the range of folks that are practicing real estate, we have more people in the industry. That's why I do love our group, Keller Williams. We train constantly on this stuff weekly. So you want to be well-versed. You want to know your practice before you go out and make sure that you're including both a ceiling and a floor in your addendum for an appraisal guarantee, for instance. A ceiling is the height of what you're willing to pay, and the floor is the lowest amount you're asking the seller to give you the house for if it doesn't appraise for what you both hope it appraises for. So those are very important, as well as the escalation clause.
The addendums are so key in today's marketplace: the ceiling, the floor, the minimum you're willing to, the seller's willing to sell you the house for, the maximum you're willing to pay for it. You're purchasing something, you're going to have your family grow up there. We'll talk all about it, financial literacy, when we come back. 248-539-9797.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Dan Burke from Capital Mortgage Funding. Over 30 years in the mortgage banking industry, hundreds of thousands of families served. Let us serve you. Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
All right, 9:16. If you're just joining us, August 21st, 2021 is Woodward Dream Cruise Day here on the Hardcore Mortgage Show. We are brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding, powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, NMLS 2289, equal housing lender. Call us all week long, all year long, and forever. Get your family to call us at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. It's the best move you can make. You need that personal service, and that's what it's all about. Closing on time, understanding what you're doing. We always talk about financial literacy. There's definitely a weakness out there in the schools. It's always been that way, but people are learning as they go. And hopefully Hope Williams, they don't learn the hard way here. Of course, Hope Williams joins us, Keller Williams. There is a little buyer's fatigue out there, is what they're calling it. Buyer's fatigue out there. They're they're gridlocked. They're making offers. It's 10 offers. They're out there calling their agents. They might have a lease coming up. They're up against a lease now that they might have to re-sign. They're also got the kids coming into school. You have to really have that plan sit down. And I'm telling more people that are having these issues, I think they need to sit down with the lender, that's for sure, and see what they can afford and really put all those numbers together. Hope they got to get that offer accepted.
That's right. And I'm so glad you mentioned this, because in every mortgage, we talk about FHA and MSHDA, all the loans, it's very important to team up for the agent to team up with the lender, because you gain insight. As long as the buyer gives you approval, you can really gain insight from your lender to know how to put a package together, how to present an offer in this competitive market to a listing agent. So when you're working, and if you're a buyer right now, you need to be interviewing both ends to see if these people are going to be cooperative, and if they're going to have time for you, and to work together as a team with the realtor that you choose, as well as, the mortgage folks that you choose. It needs to be a collaborative effort.
Yeah, Lisa, it's absolutely that competitive out there that you need to have everything figured out. Lisa, we talk about it all the time when we're in the office yesterday, talking about the one gentleman on your side of things. He's a new buyer, and then he thought his wife had lower credit scores. Turned out her credit scores were better, and now we can put a better plan together.
Yeah, they were thinking they'd had to use one program because he was certain that his wife's score would be extremely low and she wouldn't qualify. And I said, we don't know until we know. So let's just pull it. And I finally talked him into pulling it. And actually his score or her score was higher than his. So they're both on the loan, and they were able to get a better program at a lower interest rate, and it works out for them. He was elated. So sometimes I think fear holds people back. They're afraid to ask the questions. They're afraid to figure out the plan, or sometimes even it's a combination of fear and embarrassment, well, this is all the money I have to work with. That's okay. As long as we know what the parameters are, we can work within it. Sometimes people will say, I'm going to put 20% down. Well, in this competitive market, sometimes you put 15% down and use those extra funds for an appraisal guarantee if necessary, or an escalation clause if necessary. So there's different ways to put packages together, but it's about having a very open and honest conversation, being transparent with each other about, these are really the parameters of what I have to work with. Yes, I'd like to bring less, but this is my max. And in this way, we can all work together to make sure that you get the house for you at the price that you're comfortable with.
Harry, Lisa brings up a great point, a program that we offer, the Lender Pay PMI program. Again, there's too many willy-nilly people in the industry, Harry. They're hurting families out there. And then families are caught with a roof that they need in 2 or 3 years because they overbid on the house. I hope you're seeing it. They've already emptied out their pocketbooks. We have the Lender Pay PMI program, putting maybe 5% down or 10% down less, Terry. You keep that money in your pocket. Now you can use that money to fix up the house because, again, you already waived your inspection.
Yeah, cash is king, Harvey, and to keep as much cash on your side of the table is often the goal. Also, we want to make sure that people know with regard to credit, oftentimes, Lisa, Hope, Harvey, people think that they have worse credit than they really do. And that's our job. And Lisa's the credit queen in our office, and she can help you get your credit score up. But oftentimes your credit is better than you think it is. So therefore, interest rates are really slotted. It's like the salary cap in football and in basketball. You're slotted where you're drafted, right? So if your credit score is 640, you're going to get a different rate than if your credit score is 680, or if your credit score is 720 and 760, and so on and so forth. But the however is that we will tell you what your mortgage banking credit report, credit score reflects, and how that interest rate is going to affect you.
put the franchise tag on me here, but we'll go there another time with it. 248-539-9797. We take all your calls if you want to buy a house. How about refinancing? Of course, we're going to drop into it here in this first segment. Yes, interest rates are at 50-year lows. Again, we say, what are you waiting for? This is like having box seats at the Tiger game. I said, then they serve you the cold beer with the lobster tail, and it's just a nonstop way to save money for your family. How? You could drop the term. You could go down from let's say you've been in the house for 2 or 3 years now. Take a look at that 20-year because you might be able to remove the mortgage insurance. Take a look at those lot lower interest rates than when maybe you bought the house even 3 or 4 years ago. We are at all-time low interest rates for a very long time. And Hope Williams, this is what's giving the fuel to our buying frenzy. As we see so many families out there still with those pre-approvals, still trying to put their plan together. And again, we talked about the addendums and those ceilings. So I want to go back to that. Let's just talk about that a little bit. Overpaying for a house. If you are overpaying, but the house has already been updated and it's got a washer and dryer and you can look at your budget, isn't that the key, Hope? Is really sort of stepping back and seeing, hey, what am I working with here? How do I make this work?
That's right. And you'll find that the appraisal guarantees and the escalation agreements, those addendums, they come into play when you are dealing with a property that I like to use the coin, that have been HGTV, right? The property been updated, you go in, everything's shining and sparkling, and they staged it perfectly. And just as an example, yesterday I saw a 2-bedroom. I would never look at a 2-bedroom for me in my personal, but when I looked at it, they had done everything perfectly, and I know it's going to go in 2 days.
Oh, yeah.
So that's when an appraisal guarantee is going to be applied. And the escalation agreement protects you from actually overbidding, because you can actually say, if I go up to a certain amount, I'm willing to go, say, for example, $1,000 over your highest bid. And if I go up to that amount, to protect my buyer, I would also like to see proof of your highest bid. So that protects the buyer. So these are things that buyers should be aware of. You don't have to know it, but at least know what questions to ask your realtor and your mortgage lender when you're looking for a home. And also consider how much money you have to play with. We kind of covered that in our last segment. You need to think and be practical. How much extra money will you need after you get into the house if it isn't completely remodeled, right?
Amen. 20 minutes to get into these houses and take a look. Sometimes they're only sliding 10, 15, 20 minutes to get in and see you're going to make an offer of $500,000 on a house. Why? Because the offers are due by noon the next day. Right. So you're up against all these crazy things out there. You're waiving your contingencies on everything. So it's still that kind of market out there, whether it be the luxury home market or, again, you're a first-time homeowner. Hey, I heard this recently, and we're seeing and hearing about it. Could you imagine the competitiveness of the second home and the vacation home? So a lot of folks in Canada, just across the border, not too far from us here, the borders are going to be opening soon. Maybe, maybe not. If they are, there's a lot of Canadians that are also going to be bidding on these vacation homes. They want them here in Michigan. They want them in Florida and across the United States. Again, call Capital Mortgage Funding. We are powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, offering you mortgages anywhere in all 50 states across the United States. Get the service you deserve and save a lot of money. Call Capital 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Back to Hope Williams and what's going on here. The buying frenzy continues as just trying to chase down those great listings. Sometimes, Hope, and again, we've reached out. We said, what works nowadays? Are there any new techniques you're using or anything other than good old-fashioned communication? You're reaching out maybe to listing agents and pleading your case on why your offer is the best.
I would say this. I think it's dependent on the style and the plan of the person that is looking for listings. I have a relationship-based business and some maybe a 20% transactional business. And when I say that, a lot of my sphere of influence, people that I know, come to me to purchase property. And so that is, I always believe, real estate is local. That is the best way. Keeping in touch with the folks that you know. You're seeing apps online where you can sell your house online. So the idea that it's easier to go to a computer or go online really is, it's challenging for folks. And so when you're in front of a person, you have a personal relationship, it really does matter. So that would be the direction that I would say has always worked. And of course, social media.
Social media is definitely kicking. We got so much more to give you all morning long here. Of course, we're going to have sports and social commentary. We got Doug and Gator out there coming up at 10 o'clock. Hey, I want to drop this great thing. Jeff Higgins, my buddy over there at Keller Williams. He's over there in Birmingham, of course. He's got a great fundraiser, the Superheroes Golf Classic fundraiser. That's going to be Monday, October 4th at the Wingate Country Club. All the proceeds go to Children's Hospital. And I'll tell you, Jeff told me a story about his son. He's on the mend. He's going to be doing a lot better. And we're going to help a lot of kids down there at Children's Hospital get on the mend. So give us a call here at Capital Mortgage or again in the studio. We'll get you hooked up. Great fundraiser coming up. It'll be a gorgeous day, Monday, October 4th. So definitely give us a call. All right, we got mortgages and real estate, 248-539-9797. Your calls when we come right back.
Hi, Harry Glanz and Danberg from Capital Mortgage Funding. Over 30 years in the mortgage banking industry, hundreds of thousands of families served. Let us serve you. Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
All righty, welcome back to the show. If you're just tuning in, you got the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show. Again, in our 22nd season plus. Love bringing you mortgages and real estate information. Consumer Advocate Show. It's pretty easy stuff. You call 1-800-LOW-RATE. You'll get approval. You'll deal with real professionals. They have lots of experience. We'll set you up with great real estate agents like Hope Williams. We've been doing this forever, and we have over 50,000 reviews to show it again. Not just 5-star reviews. Actual real people who have gone through the process, and we've got a history to show you. So it's really key. 248-539-9797. You want to join the show. Harry Glanz is on with us. Tons of experience there. Lisa Lawson, myself. Hope Williams from Keller Williams out in the Novi office. And Hope, thanks for joining us. We had a little conversation, the Buying 101, because that's really what's going on out there. I threw something out there. I said, look, if you know you've got a time slot set up and you're going to go look at that house tomorrow, it's that $300,000 to $400,000 price range. They go awfully quick. Why not call your inspector and do the review right then and there? Walk through the house with your inspector. Maybe he'll only charge you half price. They meet you at the house. You got your agent, your inspector. Now you're coming in with that strong, confident offer. Why not? Why aren't people doing that?
Well, I think it depends. And I think that's a great idea, depending on the circumstances, right? Depending on the circumstance of the house, okay. The fixer-upper. Or is it, like we talked about, a house that's already been remodeled and you're pretty comfortable and confident in. But as a real estate agent, we always advise you to make sure that you do a thorough inspection. However, it is up to the buyer. If they want to go in for 15 minutes, because that is the case sometimes, we only have 15 minutes. If you know that your pocketbook is able to go back later and fix things after you buy the house, then that's perfect. But if you're working on a small budget, you might want to take less risk, right?
Yeah, I like that idea, right?
Yeah.
If the house is a little bit newer, maybe there's a little bit less risk involved. Older homes need an inspector, not just to bounce in there for 15 or 20 minutes. They could walk down the stairs, might take them 15, 20 minutes. So definitely a little bit more time needed on that. Lisa, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say the same thing, depending on the house. If you're looking at something that's only a few years old and everything's new and a lot of things are still under warranty, that might be a great idea. If you're looking at something that was built 50 years ago, and it can take that long. They want to check the air conditioning, the furnace. They got to, get all that going, make sure it's working. The whole 9 yards, that can take more time. And you want a thorough inspection because some of those things you will never find out until you're in the property and living in it. And all of a sudden you realize that the air doesn't work or, that the roof needs replacing in a year because they thought it would last longer. There's a lot of other structural things that inspectors check, that especially in an older home, I think it's more important to have a very thorough inspection.
All right, we keep a constant watch on the mortgage interest rates and what's going on in our total economy. Of course, we're just trying to get out of a pandemic, but the Delta variant and other things in our health standpoint, our public health standpoint, are questionable. And where are things going to go? We're only going to find out here in the next 60 days. Mr. Glanz, there's no doubt about that. We are on standby right now. We know that interest rates will probably stay low throughout the remainder of the year. Again, and when we talk about interest rates going up here, they might not go up 1.5%. They might go up 0.5%, but keep the money in your pocket. Maybe now's better than fighting it out next year when the rates are up and the prices are even higher.
Yeah, that's true, Harvey. The Delta variant is throwing, it's throwing more variables into the situation, but in a strange way, Harvey, Hope, and Lisa, it's really contributed to people buying homes, and people are buying homes in the areas that they want to live in. If their company allows them to work remotely, which I think is going to continue the trend of working remotely, people want to live in an area where they can not only work from home, but also send their kids to certain school districts if the schools are open. Go ahead and have a little bit more land. Go ahead and expand that property to a home office and other recreational use that they could utilize all within their home confines. And we're seeing that right now. And as you said, Harvey, rates are going to go up. They'll probably go up by the end of the year. And let's just say 50 basis points. That's mortgage nerd talk for 0.5%. Okay, I'm a mortgage nerd. 50 basis points means translated to, let's just say, 0.5% interest rate. So I believe that's where we're going. But again, the Delta variant has contributed to home purchasing. Let's not neglect the fact that the market is still hot.
Key highlights definitely in the world of real estate have been just the appreciation that everyone's seeing. The numbers are staggering. It's something like from last year, Hope Williams, home values are up maybe 23%. National average, of course. Our region has been really happening. The Midwest is pretty stable compared to some other regions in the U.S. But no doubt, if you take a look at any of our 5 counties just surrounding us here in the Metro Detroit area. Home values have risen. What a great opportunity. And families are taking equity out of their house to do some of these home projects. So we urge families, Hope, isn't it fun? Let's go back there as we want to dive into Mishta a little bit. Maybe we can get that first-time home buyer. Maybe we can show that person the 3% down Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac programs or FHA. Isn't it fun to get those young families into homes for just a little out of pocket?
It is. And I reach out to these families often on social media through Exploring Hope, Real Estate with Hope, on Facebook and Instagram, just because they are a learned group. They like to research and they like to know. The thing about Mishta is when you have an opportunity, it can really, really help with that down payment. But I will say this, you need a really good lender and it's someone who listens. And that's why I like working with Lisa. I sent people to her because she actually listens to the client. And in the event that there is an issue, you can team up again with that lender, the real estate person. You have to have a lender that is going to be responsive. And that's the key to getting a loan like that through right now, because it is very competitive.
All right, especially the average days on the market, 23 days. It was 44 days last year. So, yeah, they're flying off the shelves here just over 3 weeks. We got a couple calls, and if you'd like to join the show here in the second hour, 248-539-9797. Let's go to DeAndre out in Taylor. DeAndre, welcome to the show. You've got a question about real estate? Yes. Mm-hmm. Hope, I'm going to let you carry away. So, DeAndre, just to clarify it, you made an offer, you got your offer accepted in. When was it accepted, and how many days do you have to move forward and proceed with the transaction? 2 days ago. Have you done an inspection on the house, or are you still in the inspection phase? Okay, I'm hearing, just lower your radio there in the background. You can cancel your inspection and tell your real estate agent that you've just decided against that house and get your money back. Hope, you tell me otherwise. He's right there 2 days in. I mean, look, he found something else. Hey, DeAndre, be careful. You might say no to this house, and the other one you might not get. Hope, can he get his money back? He should.
If he just put the EMD down, is what I'm understanding, right?
Yeah.
He inspected the house at all?
No inspection yet.
Okay, so technically, yes. I mean, typically a contract, and we need to see the contract, DeAndre, to give you clear advice, but typically you have the right to decide whether or not you want to buy that house within the inspection period. It's not absolutely necessary that you do a formal inspection. Whatever your reason is that you don't want the house, typically that is your right. But again, we would need to see your contract to say exactly, what the way your contract is written, but typically that is the case.
Yeah, DeAndre, again, we don't play attorneys on and we want on the air, but we definitely want to see what your contract says. A standard purchase agreement in Michigan, you have a contingency, you have time to do an inspection and walk away from the transaction. You don't need to do an inspection. DeAndre, do you hear me? Make sure your agent doesn't tell you that you do. You're going to waste money. You don't need to do anything other than contact them in writing and on a phone call and make sure that you go ahead and tell them what you found another property. And again, you want to probably put that other offer in also so that you understand that you're moving forward and maybe get that other offer accepted. Okay. Yeah. Good luck to you. That could pop up anytime. Hope Williams, hey, sometimes we don't want you to have buyer's remorse after the fact. He's in his inspection period. He's all set. He should be able to get that money back. No problem.
Hopefully so. Yes, he should be able to.
Hopefully. Yeah. We don't know. We got to read the contract. Fair enough. 248-539-9797. Boy, make sure your house or your heart is really set on making that offer because you are signing some legal documents and you can get in trouble if you don't know what you're signing. So maybe get that attorney review ahead of time. And there are some attorneys, Harry, that will review your information, documentation, not for a whole lot of money, but they want to be with you right at the beginning of the transaction. When we come back, we'll talk about having professionals look at your documents. 248-539-9797. We'll be right back.
Hi, Harry Glanson Danberg from Capital Mortgage Funding. Over 30 years in the mortgage banking industry, hundreds of thousands of families served. Let us serve you. Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
To the show. We're just warming up the microphones here. 9:45. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by the Kings Capital Mortgage Funding. You can find us anywhere in the country. That's right. If you need a mortgage, call Capital 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. We are powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation. Deal with the best top 5 lenders in the country. Hey, we got the Dream Cruise going on here in Detroit. That's right. Today's Woodward Dream Cruise, the world's largest one-day automotive event. You think automotive means something to us here in Detroit? Hell yeah, it does. Drawing over 1.5 million people. I remember the Suzy Q here, and a shout out to all our friends out there. I remember some cool stuff about Woodward. I remember hitting the drive-ins there as a kid. And of course, my mom always had Honey Radio or CKLW on, or Harry, the good old times, man, they're back here in Detroit.
I want
today.
to shout out to everybody driving a 67 Cutlass, a 68, 69 GTO, a 73 Stingray, a 69 Roadrunner, all you Mopar people out there. I want to give a shout out to everybody that's on Woodward driving around, convertibles, everything. It's such a cool event. This is what we're all about. This is one of our special events all through the year, and people from all over the country, Harvey, come to Detroit to celebrate the automobile, and that's what we do. All the way up and down Woodward, from Detroit all the way to Pontiac. Let's go, everybody. And I'm looking forward to being out there today. It's going to be awesome. I'm not talking about houses right now, Harvey. I'm talking about cars. Let's go.
Maybe he's talking about maybe your garage. Yeah, maybe the only part of the house that matters today is the garage part of it. We bring on Hope Williams today from Keller Williams out at Advantage out at the Novi office. Lisa Lawson joins us from Capital Mortgage. Of course, Harry Glanz, myself, Harvey Freed, always here to give you 1 hour of mortgage real estate talk. And we thank for everyone for listening out there. And again, call Capital if you need a mortgage. A little salute out there to a Detroit Tiger great. Of course, Bill Freehand passed away earlier this week. 11-time All-Star, 5 gold gloves. Yeah, I like all catchers, but this guy was the man, and a serious block on home plate, a little bit of footwork there in the 68 World Series to give us another one of those crown jewels downtown. So cool stuff here in Detroit. I always said Detroit, Harry, is one of the best places in the world. Man, we walk around when we go to other places. I don't know, we pick on each other here. Detroiters should all be in love with each other. You go to Las Vegas, everyone's sticking their chest out if you're a Detroiter. You're down in Miami. Hey, you're from Detroit. Man, the love is endless. Hope, give me a little of that.
It's unique. I mean, Harvey and Hope and Lisa, it's a unique community. We're all connected. We're all related. Hey, maybe we've got a chip on our shoulder because we work hard, okay? That's why our show, Harvey, is called the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, because we'll give it to you straight. There's no fluff. We'll give you the answers to your questions straight up, and that's just the way we roll.
Sure.
All right, a little bit out there. Let's go back to the real estate talk here. We've got a little bit of time before Pat. We got Doug and Gator joining us out there on Woodward today, which is a little different. It'll be a lot of fun out there. So just dive into it. There's no doubt, hey, we've got investors out there. You know, the home market is great. And again, if you did want to dip into it because you see these home appreciation and you want a piece of that and diversify your portfolio, people can buy homes and then rent them out to their family and friends and strangers.
And ironically enough, this is probably a good time, even though we are in a frenzy. And the reason I say that is because a lot of people are being impacted by what's going on with the pandemic. Some folks have properties that they want to sell. You've had a lot of transitions, that have happened with people aging out of the industry or may have gotten sick, and they want to pass these homes on. So there's opportunity there. The prices may, vary depending on the need of the seller, but it's worth looking into right now for sure.
Yeah, diversify your portfolio, maybe get a little taste of some home ownership. If you haven't quite bought your first house, definitely maybe find out what it's all about. Getting approved is the key. Lisa, a little bit on credit scores out there. It's something that families really need. We talk about financial literacy all the time. Yeah, you're going to have a credit piece. Those days of just having a large down payment and putting 50% down. I mean, there are families out there, at least with a ton of cash, but you need a credit piece. You need to have 2 or 3 lines of credit. Tell people how they can get started.
Yeah, I mean, credit is so important. Even more so now than ever. So like you said, you can have 50% down, but the laws have changed after the big crash, and we now have to prove that you can pay the mortgage back and that you have a solid credit history, and we need evidence that you've paid people back in the past. So having a credit score, having strong credit is super important. Obviously, the stronger the better, but that credit piece is irrefutable. You have to have it. There is no more, here's a couple pay stubs, and this is what I say I make, and I've got 50% down, let's do this. It doesn't work that way, unfortunately, so, not to mention strong credit impacts your life in other ways. You're going to get better car insurance rates and homeowners insurance rates and everything else, the stronger your credit is. So, credit has always been near and dear to my heart. As Harry always says, I'm the credit queen. And if you have questions about credit or how credit works, because I think what people don't understand is they'll be like, I pay everything on time. I don't understand why my score won't go past 660. There's often things people are doing that they're suppressing their score and they don't even know it because they don't understand how credit works and how scoring works. And those are things that we like to help you with. And even if you're ready to buy now, it doesn't mean that we're not going to have a conversation that say, look, yes, you're approved now, and here's your score and everything's great, and here's your approval. But if while you're looking, you do these 2-3 simple steps, in a month or two, your score could be this. You could be a 720. And we make sure that we optimize. We do everything we can. So by the time you close, your score is as good as it can be. That's just something we do naturally here. We do that for everybody.
The automated underwriting system is allowing a lot of our past clients who purchased last year and put maybe less than 20% down to come back to Capital Mortgage Funding and refinance their homes. Even if you didn't come to Capital, come to us now. Our software program will help you get out of the PMI that you're currently paying. Again, if you bought a house last year, the year before, in the last few years, definitely call Capital Mortgage Funding. We might be able to remove that PMI from you, from your current transaction. Again, set you up with a new term. Amortization charts are something that have been around for a very long time. I've been using them more and more lately. Boy, they really show families how to save money. Print out an amortization chart. Call us. I'll run the numbers for you. If you can drop 5, 10, or even multiple years off your mortgage, the savings are tremendous. That's where you find the most amount of savings. So a little shout out, of course, cash out refinancing, always that opportunity. Hope Williams, people that bought homes, again, 3 years ago, they're sitting on a lot of equity.
They are. And that is actually one of my clients right now. They just bought their home a few years ago and they're moving because they have the equity in it and the house is worth more and they can afford more. So it's a prime opportunity to either refinance or sell, depending on what situation. If you need a new home, go for it. If not, stay where you are and take some cash out.
Yeah, Hope, you needed to, when you bought a house, you had to stay there 5-7 years. You're going to have to pay a real estate commission. It's not too much. And maybe a transfer tax and a title insurance. There are fees when you sell a house, but boy, the appreciation has gone so high that it's going to absorb that. And now families can use that same money and roll it into that next house and maybe improve their lifestyle or maybe get the kids into an upgraded school district. You never know what their needs and goals are.
Absolutely. Another way of flipping, right? You're the homeowner, but you flip the home that you're in and make some money. So we've got a lot of investors in our community right now.
Yeah, we see a lot of that. Again, 248-539-9797. You want to sneak a call in. Hey, Harry, we're up against sort of the end of the show here. Give a little love back to everyone who's listening. Again, of course, they can reach.
Yeah, everybody listen out there, cruising Woodward right now. You're going to have a great day. It's going to be a great time. But if you have questions about mortgage interest rates, real estate, there's only one number to call, and it's been that way for a long time. That's 1-800-LOW-RATE, 248-569-7283. We're here to serve you, probably serving the community for over 32 years. And a lot of great people, Lisa, Harvey, everybody at our office. And we deal with great real estate agents, real estate partners like Hope. And again, I can only emphasize the hardcore answers to your hardcore questions. We'll give it to you straight.
All right. Again, super hot real estate market continues to stay hot. Lisa, give us some final thoughts here.
Yeah, take advantage of the market, take advantage of the rates, put you and your family in the best position possible and develop wealth for your family. Owning a home is definitely much better than paying somebody else's mortgage. When you're renting, that's what you're doing. So I think this is definitely the time. If you think you're not ready, and you might not be, give us a call. We will help you get ready. It might take 6 months, it might take a year, but you got to start somewhere and we're willing to help.
All righty, you guys, keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket. We got Gator, we got Doug coming up. They're going to be broadcasting their show 10 to 2 out there on Woodward. Go on by and say hello. Of course, all those great cars here in Metro Detroit. We got Tiger Baseball around 2 o'clock. It's going to be our sister station there on WWJ. And Lions football a little bit later tonight. Dan Miller, Lomas Brown. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket. We will see you next week here on 97.1. Again, call Capital Mortgage, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Have a great day.